Peter around the world with his dear partner. I go, that's senior moment again.
Oh, what?
The name of your partner.
Oh, name of my partner.
I know it as well.
Geraldine.
Geraldine! This is 70 years of age working here.
Well, it's a good job I could remember, isn't
I
it?
tell you, oh, you're blessed. Yeah, you're not as old as I am, which is a big thing. But Peter sort of swallowed the anchor and came ashore and settled in Banbridge, and he and Geraldine are very much, well, they took the Inland Waterways Association, Newry and Portadown branch by the scruff of the neck, and they turned it into a meaningful entity. And the latest that's happening there is that for the first time since the canal, since the canal's heydays back in the 1700s, 1800s, the stretch of water from Sands's Mill in Newry out to St Coleman's College
Yes.
will be opened up again.
Well, we intend to get it opened up within the next 6 months.
Tell me how that's happening. What's going on?
Well, 18 months ago, we approached the council, first of all, Newry and Mourne District Council, about what was the pipe. There used to be a pipe just above lock number 2 that the canal actually flowed through, and obviously you couldn't take a boat through a 3-foot pipe. So we asked them what that was for, and they said, oh, it's the Rivers Agency had put that in as a flood control mechanism in 1972. So we then went to the Rivers Agency, and they, after a lot of pondering, decided it was superfluous in this day and age.
Isn't it funny that they have to ponder for a long time?
Oh, well, you see, it's getting somebody to sign the thing that pipe is safe to take out, that Newry will not disappear under a tidal wave.
That's what it is. So they've taken the pipe out.
Yes.
What's the next step?
Well, the pipe only came out last week, and we had already cleared between the two gates at lock number 2, and we had those operational. But unfortunately, in the meantime, there have been vandals down, and they put some more stones in that area that unfortunately, well, the Rivers Agency left them sitting there, and of course they got thrown in. And then last weekend, they took the security fencing around the work site and threw it into the canal as well. Now, the Rivers Agency removed the fencing yesterday.
Do you know, if you stood on your tiptoes in the police station at Ardmore, you could probably see that.
If you're almost on the first or second floor, you can see it.
You can see it.
Yes.
So come on, Davy, what's going on? Davy Beck, he's away to the G8 this week, our
Yes.
chief of police here.
Yeah.
He's down, he's going to come in and tell us about it. But I mean, there are dark holes in our community, places where creatures of the deep darkness can do their evil things, and they seem to get away with it. You know, it's appalling.
Yes, well, the area did look very dilapidated. The pipe was in a terrible state, and the embankments in the vicinity. And then there was I don't really remember, there's a mix of concrete block walls and palisade fencing and stuff.
That's right.
And that's all gone now. It's really worth a wander up just past the Wyn.
Yeah.
It's only 100 yards past the Wyn. Admittedly, the security fencing is still there between the towpath and the canal, but the difference to the ambience of the whole area has been transformed.
Good, yeah. You intend to put a quarter-scale barge on it. What is that?
That's right. The Southern Educational Committee, the Community Education Committee in Drogheda, are financing through the college there. One of our members, called Pat Shanks, is a teacher.
Oh, I know
in the college.
Pat.
You know
I know Pat very
sure,
well.
yes.
Yes, boating colleague. Yeah.
And he is organising a barge for us, a quarter scale, a 14-foot barge.
14-foot barge.
Yeah, which will power with an electric outboard motor.
Wow.
For environmental reasons. Yeah. And then we intend to, once we get the rest of the gates working up at lock number 3, is to run the barge on a regular basis, possibly once a month, once every 6 weeks, on a fixed date, on a calendar, so that people can come and see a lock work. Because most people in Newry, unless they're older than you or I, Rowan, won't have seen a lock working on that canal ever.
It's true. But will you leave the barge on the canal or put it in and take it out?
Oh no, it can't be left there
for
obvious reasons, you know.
If they ditch and trash security fencing, what would they do with the barge, for goodness sake?
That's one of the reasons it's going to be small, so it can be. There is a launching ramp beside opposite Sandsville there in a little car park.
Never used until now.
No, the council I think used it occasionally to put a weed cutting boat in.
Yeah,
that's the only time. And we've used it for curraghs.
Yes, of course.
Yes, we've done the curraghs.
I was excluding you from that comment because what you've done, the Inland Waterways Association is very successful in Newry at the moment.
Well, we're certainly doing very well, you know, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the difference to the canal, right out now, we've cleaned up around Forsyth Lock as well, which is way out underneath the new bypass. The whole lot, the whole idea is to improve the ambience of the area, because it has a bad name. That stretch from Carnbane down to Newry certainly has a bad name. And we're trying, we feel that if we make the ambience better, the whole people will respond differently, and hopefully the vandalism will cease.
Well, I think with vandalism, if you come back immediately on it, and cure the harm that's been done, it makes a difference. I remember there was a beautiful couple of summer seats over at Sugar Island, and they were dumped into the canal, and they were never replaced. So that's giving the ultimate victory to the vandal. You know?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I was out at lock number 2 last night. We were having a meeting with some other members from the executive of the Inland Waterways Association discussing the project, and it was a lovely evening yesterday evening, nice and calm.
Yeah.
And at lock number 2, the pipe's gone, the banks have been straightened up now, there's no grass growing on them yet, it's like a bit like a building site, but it's all nice and smooth, and there was some chap standing in the lock fly fishing.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's
That's
just
lovely.
unbelievable to see it.
Fly fishing in the
Fly
lock.
fishing in the lock, yes.
Wow.
And, you know, I never thought I'd see that sort of day, actually.
Well, I never thought I'd see that sort of day. For John Donnelly and I, when we founded the Newry Canal Preservation Society, John's now dead and gone, but we dreamed of this kind of thing, dreamed of it, never thought it possible. So maybe the ultimate dream of reopening all the way to Portadown is becoming ever so slowly into focus.
Oh, it does. It does. The canals in England were opened in small sections, like we're doing this one. I mean, this is the easy section to do at this end because the lock gates were there. The next easy section would be outside Newry, be up at Points Pass and Scarva. But that seems to be the way that they had most success in England, except when they got a great big government grant for doing a huge section of the canal. But it was done in bits and pieces over a few years, and then they fill in the bits in between.
That's how it happens. And will you encourage people from the community to use the water and get in there, canoeing, small boats, rowing, whatever?
Oh yes, yes indeed we will. At the moment though, the control of the locks themselves lies with Newry and Mourne District Council, not with ourselves, so it's their decision on who will actually use the canal.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would have turned it, years ago it would have been turned into car parking on the industrial side.
I know we have you to thank for that not happening, Rowan. You and John Donnelly.
Well, we stopped them.
Yes, I mean this is it. I mean, thank goodness you did. I mean, imagine it. Oh, you know,
we were a burr. We were a burr under their saddle, I tell you, and it succeeded. The thing then was that we wanted to do other things and move it on, but it was all slow, very very slow. We tried and tried and tried to get a plan in place for reopening. And it just didn't materialise.
No,
you know?
These things just take so much longer. I mean, the pipeline that was removed there last week was supposed to be coming out the 3rd week in October, and this is only happening now. But it's just you have to accept that these things do take longer than you think. And they've done a lot of work, and they've cleared out a lot of the canal, the Rivers Agency mainly. But we have to work with the Northern Ireland Environment Agency because it's a scheduled monument.
Of course.
To do any work to that canal, and this is also a warning for anyone who vandalises the locks. It is a scheduled monument. There are phenomenal fines for doing anything, whether it's work to improve it or whether it is vandalism to it. And you will be prosecuted. Nothing to do with us. The Environment Agency will make sure you're prosecuted, and the fines are astronomical, if not in fact jail sentences.
Well, at the time of the opening of when with the Canal Preservation Society, Donnelly and I discovered a constancy of outpouring of oil from establishments in the Wynn Business Park. And on more than one occasion, we canoed up under the darkness of the late evening, and we jammed every conceivable type of rag, old coat, old blanket up into the pipe and got it up maybe 50 metres in. And we kind of tried to put manners into them, and it made us, as you can imagine, fairly popular. We mentioned Mithril, your Around the World yacht. That's now stopped. You tell the people, just remind us briefly of that period in your life.
Well, we built the boat ourselves, just from a pile of steel.
Yourself and Geraldine?
Yes. Down in Killilay, actually, because we had trouble finding a site, because everybody thought we'd start building the boat and never get her finished, and she'd be lying around, like so many of them do. It took us 2.5 years, and then we got her launched, and we headed off, and we visited such places as Iceland, Cape Town, Fremantle, Australia, Caribbean,
My God.
Cape Horn,
Yeah.
all over Canary Islands. Spent a lot of time
Yeah.
in the Canary Islands and
But
in
you've
Turkey.
stopped now. You've stopped now.
yes.
Have you completely? Do you miss it?
No, not in the least. Not in the least. We decided we'd had enough of ocean cruising, and we have got a motor cruiser now, which
Okay.
we brought. We used it in England on the canals
Okay.
for the last 3 summers,
Yeah.
and now I have it over in Fermanagh
Wow. Well
on
done.
Loch Earn.
Thank you for coming in to me.
Okay, Rowan.
You go
thanks.
well and keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing it
We'll
magnificently.
do our best. But
God
we've-
bless you.
we've
Go
people
well.
like you to thank for keeping it open in the first instance.
Well, we're there with you still.
Right, Oro.
Doing not too much with a pick and shovel, but here in the studio.